Hi, in this video we'll be talking about negotiations training and how you can build a successful sales team for your company. You don't, nor does any salesperson or sales manager, want to waste time because that's what costs you money and resources. If a salesperson moves too quickly into a problem-solving phase, their prospect may feel trapped or maybe even feel paralyzed, which can result in you getting an insincere yes or losing the sale altogether. On the other hand, you don't want your salespeople to extend the sale process out for too long. You know, in sales, you can be excused to lose a deal because of competition or pricing. But if you lose a deal because you're not proactive enough to close the deal, that's almost unforgivable. How can we strike a perfect balance? In our negotiation training workshops, you and your sales team will learn to know when it's time to close the sale. But let's start with that training now and learn 3 negotiation techniques that you can use to build a successful sales team. Don't get trapped in the mindset of only trying to close. Salespeople often forget that people do know when someone is trying to close them in a sale. They can definitely feel it when you're setting them up and moving them down through a sales funnel and trying to make them say yes and get them to change their minds. First, be aware of the tendency to beeline towards the close from the onset. The sooner you get caught up in the close, the sooner your prospect will begin to take note. Closing too early creates awkward tension that happens when someone feels pressured to say yes. If the client feels you're trying to push them down a certain path, they'll fight you and they'll lie to you, and eventually they'll try to avoid you altogether. So even worse, you have wasted your time, maybe several days, several weeks of playing games to get to the point of losing this client. So 1, be upfront and start first with the discovery and research phase. So if you're not trying to close up front, what are you trying to do? And what is the research and discovery phase? The fact that someone is willing to talk to you means that they think you can solve their problem. The research and discovery phase begins with you, the salesperson, doing your job to figure out what the problem is. You need to get the other side to express what they already had in mind before you begin speaking with them. If not, you're doing yourself a disservice. And instead of getting caught up in the close and start focusing on the research and discovery and try to find out what's what. Here are 3 tools that will help you with the research and discovery phase. Prior to your call, conduct an audit and determine what the prospect's pain points are. You also want to think about what might hold them back or create hesitation in their mind and determine ahead of time how you can deal with that potential issue. In your first call with the prospect, find out who else the prospect is talking to. In sales, you know, you'd be naive to think you're the only company that Mr. Prospect is speaking to. So be honest with yourself. When you use what I call labels, it helps you in the discovery phase and it confirms that you understand correctly what the client is saying. Examples might be of labels as, it sounds like you like quality service. Is that correct? It seems like this feature is very important to you. Is it important to you to get the best price? You also want to try to identify the price range that they're looking at and also determine if there's anything else causing them or forcing them to be on the phone with you. Example, company purchasing department procedures, due diligence, maybe a change in management, some new regulations, etc., what have you. The cool thing is, by using these labels correctly, you're going to be able to identify easily the most critical dynamics of the prospect, which helps you build a solid foundation with your relationship with Mr. Prospect. So when you're saying something like, it sounds like X is important to you, this demonstrates and shows that you're actively listening to the client, which helps you become more effective in sales and a better negotiator. Number 3. Simplify the process. Break your goals down into small chunks. In sales, the ultimate goal is to always close, close, close. But according to recent research at Harvard Business Review, it takes an average of 18 calls to connect with one single prospect. So even if you're the most effective salesperson on earth, then you most likely won't connect with the first prospect or not even the 10th, according to this research. And odds are you're not even going to close the deal on your first call or even your third. So take many small steps in a planned direction and you will ultimately end up at your destination. So break your goals down into smaller chunks and you will increase the chances that you will end up achieving your ultimate objectives. What might this strategy look like? Well, first you might set a goal of getting the prospect to tell you something no one else knows. Maybe you find out who the real decision maker is, or what's the biggest obstacle to make the sale. The second, you might set a goal of helping the prospect see the potential pain and loss they will suffer if they don't buy from you. Your premise intention is still, how can I help them? You're not just looking to do it all in one giant step, but in many baby steps, step by step by step. These three tactics are small steps down the path to negotiation mastery. And don't forget to use your voice inflection when delivering any of these skills. Maximize your effectiveness. If you're looking for more in-depth training, you may want to consider spending a day with us at one of our negotiations and sales workshops. Sign up for a live event. I can guarantee if you follow these strategies, you will be closing more sales in no time. Check out our upcoming videos about communication skills, business coaching, stealth sales, and negotiation techniques. Leave your comments in the box below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you. Have a fantastic day.